HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. Before we jump into the episode, I have 3 quick housekeeping notes that I want to deliver to you. The first is that the audio for this episode is so quality. I recorded it on my phone one evening, and the phone mic and the receivers and all that stuff aren't as great as my podcast equipment. So you might notice little things here and there in the audio, and if you're wondering why the hell does it sound different, it's because it was on my phone. That's number 1. Number 2 is that I want to acknowledge the fact that I have been kind of spotty with my publishing lately. I typically aim to publish in the middle of the week, and in the past probably 3 episodes, that keeps getting pushed further and further back. And I really have no excuse. I have not managed my time super well, and so I want to own up to it and let you know that I expect better for myself and you folks who've been listening to the show consistently. And I know you're out there because you've been emailing me. For you all, I want to make sure that I'm doing my part and dropping episodes in the middle of the week, like I said I would be. And so I want to own up to that, and I'm actually going to publish 3 episodes right now. So if you're listening to this one, you should have 2 more right behind it, so you can get a whole chunk of episodes at once and sort of make up for the ones that I have missed. And I will be getting back to my more consistent publishing weekly, middle of the week, and that's going to be happening immediately. The third and final thing before we jump into the episode is that I had ambitions for adding some segments to the show and really varying up the production a little bit, and that just has not been working out for me. The time commitment for the move segment of the show has been significant to the point that I'm going to be dropping that segment. And essentially, if you're new to this show, I had 2 different segments for each, actually 3 different segments on each episode. I had the meat of what I was talking about. I had a segment called Move, which was an action item, a takeaway that you could just walk away from and put the lesson from the episode into practice. And I had some gratitude. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold all of that into one. There's not going to be separate music in between each of them. And, I was inspired by Casey Neistat and his daily video blog. And, the dude's production was on point. And I thought, I want to do that same thing. And I don't know how many episodes I did where I had the different segments and the different music. But it took a significant amount of time to hunt down tracks and put all that together. And, it's time away from my other pursuits and hanging out with baby Maya. So I decided to make it easier on myself and just fold everything into one. You still will hear action items. I'm still going to give you all takeaways, and I'm still going to share gratitude. There just won't be the music break in between, and it'll just be one smooth, continuous episode. So with that, let's jump into today's episode about being aware of your thoughts because they have impact on your output. Let's get into it. I was reminded today of the power of our thoughts and the impact that our thoughts can have on how we show up in life. And I want to share a couple of examples that happened just a few hours ago in the gym that I go to and that I train at and that I teach at. Because I think a gym and exercise is a great place. It's a great sort of training ground for a lot of things because what you experience inside of a gym is stress. It's physical stress, right? Like your trainer hands you a weight or you're attempting an exercise and you're putting physical stress on your body. And one of the things that I have come to experience and witness, experience in myself and witness in others, is that the way you handle physical stress is very, very, very similar to the way that you're going to handle emotional stress or relationship stress or any other type of stress outside of a gym environment. So a gym is a fantastic place to work on your relationship to stress.
HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
The new year is here and ServiceTitan wants to help plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and service trade businesses like yours get off to a fast start. Right now, get 2 free months of ServiceTitan, the leading all-in-one software for the trades, plus a $1,000 gift card. ServiceTitan partners typically see a 17% increase in revenue in the first 2 years and a 9% increase in average ticket size. Listen to what some of ServiceTitan's current partners have to say.
We got ServiceTitan as a CRM. It was our 5th CRM, and it was a game changer. I got to tell you.
We've had more million-dollar months on ServiceTitan than we have ever before.
It changed the way that we went to market. ServiceTitan has really aided us to take us from a small business to an enterprise.
ServiceTitan helps you put better processes in place and gives you crystal clear insight into your entire company's performance, from the back office to the field. Business owners get 2 months free plus a $1,000 gift card when you sign up for ServiceTitan by January 31st. Visit ServiceTitan.com to start growing your business. ServiceTitan.com.
So it isn't a surprise to me that these two examples that I have took place in a gym, because both of them show just how, when you apply a little bit of stress to a person, it impacts what they think about themselves and what they end up deciding. So this first example was there's a fitness assessment that I take at my gym. We take it every 90 days, and it's called the game day. And it goes through 4 quarters. The first quarter is all about your body composition. Your second quarter is all about strength. Third quarter is about cardio, and the fourth quarter is about flexibility. And so I'm supporting a friend of mine who's having his game day today, and he wants to show up and get a great score and really just be peaceful and calm and powerful throughout the thing. right? Because the score is just feedback. It's just data. It's just telling you where you are in this particular moment in time, nothing else. But really, what everybody ultimately wants is to have a peaceful and powerful experience. So I'm there to support him, and he's doing one of the exercises where he's laying on a bench and he has a bar with a few weights that he's holding, kind of, in like a bench press position. And what he has to do is hold the weight with his arms fully extended for 5 seconds, and then hold the weight down closer to his chest for 10 seconds. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, and I'm just supporting him. I'm loving on him. I'm affirming him, and I'm experiencing him as he's flowing, and he's flowing great, right? Like, I can see he's peaceful. There's no strain in his face. His breathing is very soft, and I can see a slight tremor in his arms and his muscles, but nothing significant. And he's doing that, through 25%, 50%, 75% of the exercise. He's just flowing. He's peaceful. And, the trainer who's conducting the game day is giving him cues. He's saying up, and then he's holding for a few seconds, and then down, and he's holding for 10 seconds, and up. And so the trainer is just, counting off the time, and my friend's flowing. And then I noticed, the trainer kind of stepped away for a quick minute to hand something else to another client. And I could see this sort of shift in my friend. I could see that, he was now focusing on what the trainer was doing, focusing on whether or not the time was being counted off correctly, focusing on when he was going to be able to rest. And he took his attention away from the exercise. He took his attention away from his breathing and away from the task at hand. And I could see those thoughts as run across his eyes. I could see the fear start to creep up in him, as all these things are running through his mind. And it was fascinating to me how literally in 2 seconds he went from being peaceful and calm and powerful to dropping the weight. I mean, it was so fast. It was so fast. As soon as the trainer turned his attention to hand something else to another client, my friend looked up. I saw the panic and fear go in his eyes, and he quit. And I was like, wow, I high-fived him and said he was powerful and amazing for what the flow that he was able to capture in that moment. But what I also saw was somebody who allowed their thoughts, and in this case, who allowed fear and doubt and disempowering conversation to really infiltrate and corrupt his performance. Because he was flowing. He was in the zone. He was doing his thing. And, he was in a very loving, peaceful space. And I can tell, because that's what was written across his face, that's how he was showing up. That's what his breathing was communicating. And that's what I was seeing in the power that he had as he was flowing through his exercise. But as soon as that fear crept in, as soon as that self-doubt crept in, that uncertainty, as soon as those things got in, man, they did their work. They did their work. Like, that's what they're there to do. They're there to corrupt. They're there to sap power. They're there to incept doubt. And once those things get in, if you allow them to take hold, then what my friend experienced is exactly what happens. His strength was gone. His will was gone. His belief was gone. And he dropped the weight. And I was just like, man, I was reminded of how important it is to, first of all, just be aware of the power of our thoughts. Be aware of the impact that our thoughts have on how we show up in life in all areas, not just physically, not just when you're, pushing weight around, but in all areas. If you think you're a shitty parent, you're going to show up that way. If you think you're an amazing friend, you're going to show up that way. And it's not personal, it's just the energy of those thoughts. And so that was the first example that happened early this morning. And then hours later, when I was teaching the fitness class that I teach every Tuesday evening, I was presented with another example. A friend of mine, she had a challenging conversation with her mom before coming into the play camp. That's the name of the fitness class I teach. It's called play camp. Here it is again, intentionally shifting the words from boot camp to play camp, because as we get older in life, we forget about this idea of play. Play is something that comes so easily to kids. Play is something that we do every day when we're young, and we sprint and we run and we push our bodies and we fall down and we get up. And I remember calling up my friends and saying, "Hey, can Jake come out to play?" But as adults, we sort of we lose that connection to play, and so I call my workout a play camp. And so my friend, before this evening's play camp, was having a phone call with her mom. And my friend she's bisexual, and she came out to her family about 2 years ago, and her mom knows this. And so in this particular conversation, her mom was sharing frustration that she was feeling that another one of her kids, my friend's sibling, was married to somebody who's now coming out as bisexual. And, her mom has a religious background and that sort of mental paradigm. So she didn't approve of that sort of lifestyle and didn't approve of that type of beingness, and was sharing the disapproval. And so my friend was just wearing it all on. Like, she was taking it personally. She was feeling judged, and all of those things were truly weighing on her. She said that in the car ride over to play camp that she was feeling angry. And anger was something that she wrestled with for a while, and she really thought that she had healed and grown past, but the anger came out tonight. And so she steps into play camp holding on to that anger, and she feels that anger in her as we begin the exercises for the evening, as we're doing warm-ups, as we're doing dynamic stretching, as we're doing some core exercises that we do every week. She's feeling this anger, and she's carrying it with her, and it's, that anger is influencing her thoughts. It's influencing the conversations that she's having in her head while trying to be present in this play camp, while trying to be present when external stresses are being put on her body. She's dealing with internal stresses that she's putting on her body. And what happened was she almost fainted. She said that she stood up and just kind of felt everything go a little bit fuzzy and got that feeling like, holy shit, I might faint. And she said, no. I am not fainting. Wait a minute. I'm letting this anger really, really impact me on a deep level if I'm feeling like I got to faint right now. Because she's a regular at play camp. She knows what it's about. She's at that level of fitness to where this stuff on any other day wouldn't faze her. But today, because of her thoughts, because of the conversations she was having in her head, it was fazing her. And it was kicking her butt big time. And she had that moment of realization where she understood the impact of her thoughts. She understood that the consequence of choosing these fearful, disempowering thoughts of anger and resentment, the consequence of that was her body not having the strength, her body not being able to flow, her body not having the power that it normally has.
The new year is here, and Service Titan wants to help plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and service trade businesses like yours get off to a fast start. Right now, get 2 free months of Service Titan, the leading all-in-one software for the trades, plus a $1,000 gift card. Service Titan partners typically see a 17% increase in revenue in the first 2 years and a 9% increase in average ticket size. Listen to what some of Service Titan's current partners have to say.
We got Service Titan as a CRM. It was our 5th CRM, and it was a game changer. I got to tell you.
We have had more million-dollar months on Service Titan than we have ever before.
It changed the way that we went to market. Service Titan has really aided us to take us from a small business to an enterprise.
Service Titan helps you put better processes in place and gives you crystal clear insight into your entire company's performance, from the back office to the field. Business owners get 2 months free plus a $1,000 gift card when you sign up for Service Titan by January 31st. Visit servicetitan.com to start growing your business. servicetitan.com.
Grand Canyon University makes earning your degree possible with over 130 academic programs for traditional campus students, with more than 80 bachelor's programs offered online. GCU provides you with the personal support you need, from complimentary unofficial transcript evaluations within 24 business hours to scholarships, academic support, and your GCU graduation team, led by your own university counselor. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
And in the environment of a play camp, where you're required to have some of that strength and flow, otherwise the exercises or the stressors that I place on you are really going to stack up. She started to feel it stack up. And what's amazing is when you develop some self-awareness, when you really understand the impact of your thoughts. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap character. So character, reap destiny. When you realize that chain that starts, when you run that chain back from destiny, it goes all the way back to thoughts. Thoughts are where it all begins. And so she got that, and she was able to shift those thoughts. And what happened was, as she started to shift those thoughts, as she started to say, no, I'm not going to choose to be angry. I'm going to choose something different right now. I'm going to choose to thank my mom for giving me this opportunity to relate to this circumstance differently, to relate to how she's showing up differently. Because I know what it's like to choose anger. I know what it's like to be resentful. I know what it's like to want to fight and want to lash out. And I know how my body responds. And my friend said, no, I'm not choosing that anymore. And having that awareness, that's where it started for her. And then once she got that awareness, she was able to assess what was happening and choose something different. Choose to be present. Choose to be loving. Choose to be compassionate. Choose to say, you know what, my mom is doing the best that she can given her tools and her level of understanding. And be at peace with it. She doesn't have to agree with her mom. She doesn't have to agree with the fact that her mom is basically calling into question her lifestyle, but she can just love on her mom. Just love her for who she is and where she's at. Because the alternative of that, choosing fear, choosing anger, choosing resentment, who does that hurt? It didn't hurt me in this situation as her trainer. It didn't hurt anybody else in the play camp. It was only hurting her. And the way that I know that is because my friend's power was just oozing out. She was losing power all over the place. I would look up at an exercise and she's sitting down. I would give them the next thing to do and she'd be head against the wall trying to catch her breath. And then she says, wow, I felt like I was going to faint. That's what happens. That's what happens when we choose to hold on to disempowering conversations. That's what happens when we choose thoughts that are based out of fear or scarcity as opposed to love and abundance. This stuff's not personal. It just is what it is. And so I had these two really powerful examples of people choosing thoughts today. One person who decided to wear on a thought and let it impact him to the point where he had to quit before he completed his goal. And another person who had a thought that was just spinning around in her head, sucking her energy all over the place. And she had the self-awareness to realize what was going on. And she had the reps, she had put in the repetitions and the practice to shift and change those thoughts. And it's it's a great lesson for me as, being a parent and knowing that I have taken on a lot of other people's beliefs about parenting and other people's scripts about what you need to do and all these different things, all these different thoughts that I have swirling around in my head that I need to sort through and decide which ones work for me and which ones don't on a day-to-day basis when I'm raising my 5-month-old daughter. And for you listening right now, I can imagine when you turn off this episode, when you unplug your headphones, you're going to be presented with life circumstances that are going to throw shit your way. You're going to have to deal with stuff. And the first way that you're going to deal with it, or at least the first way you're going to interpret and try to make sense out of what life is throwing at you, is by thinking about it. It might be reactive type of thought. It might be, subconscious thinking, but it's going to start as thoughts. So just be more aware. Be more mindful of your thoughts. Do they come from a place of love? Do they come from a place of compassion, a place of kindness, a place of abundance, a place of possibility, a place of flexibility? Or do your thoughts come from a place of rigidity, of judgment, of fear, of scarcity? Because I guarantee you that the former is going to create a much more pleasant experience in your body, in your beingness. And if you want to challenge me on it, cool. Or if you don't believe me, that's totally fine. Just choose those other thoughts, choose the fear, choose the scarcity, choose the anger, the resentment, and then just let me know how your body feels. And the reason why I can say that is because I do that shit constantly. It's something that I have to work on all the time. Letting go of my scarcity, letting go of my fear, of my judgment. And for me, when I choose those things, what it feels like is just massive anxiety. The obsessive thoughts about something that I ultimately can't control. The sweating under the arms, that's big for me. That's how you know. If you ever meet me in person, you'll know that if I'm nervous or if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm holding on to some fear-based thinking by my armpits. If they're sweaty, then yep, you can pretty much guarantee that I'm not in my power. I'm not in a place of peace and love. That's how it shows up for me, and it shows up for you in a different way, I imagine. So the whole takeaway from this episode is really to just be mindful of your thoughts and be aware of the power that your thoughts have on how you show up in life. In whatever role it is, your thoughts have the ability to really shape your experience. And even when you have chosen the dark side, all right, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so even when you've chosen the dark side, you can shift. You can choose the light. You can practice becoming more and more aware so that you can recognize and be like, damn, okay, I've been in my funk. I've just been so scarce. I've been thinking about what I don't have. I've been thinking about all the money that I need. I've been thinking about all the bills that have piled up. And man, I have this tightness in my chest. And you know what? All right, I'm through with that. I'm through with that. So let me spend the next 30 seconds just sharing some internal gratitudes about what I do have in life. And then let me spend the next minute just sending out affirmations to other people, because I know that if I shift my thoughts away from fear and towards love, that I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel better physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And so let me just do that for the next 90 seconds and shift this funk I'm in, because I want to be powerful throughout the rest of my day. I want to be powerful in the rest of the things that I got going on in my life. And so I'm going to shift those things up. Like, that's the type of conversation you can absolutely have day to day, moment to moment, circumstance to circumstance. So that's what I'm putting out there for you to try on and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode. And if it sounds a little bit different, it's because right now I'm recording this on my phone. I didn't set up all the typical podcasting equipment today. I'm like, you know what? I want to share this message before I call it a night. So I whipped out my phone, I hit record, and that's what I'm doing. I actually I'm like speaking into a blanket almost, trying to capture some of this echo. So if you're like, hey, Matt, that episode really sucked today, and I need to tell you about it, feel free to email me at mattcbivens@gmail.com. It's my personal email address, and I'd love to hear your feedback from the show, your questions, your suggestions for how folks can get out of their heads, out of that fear and scarcity. And you can find this episode on firesidenetwork.com. That is where this show lives. You can go and find the all previous episodes, all show notes, everything like that over at firesidenetwork.com. And I think I mentioned this before, but I have a new website up. It's matthewbivens.com, and you can go check that out and see what I've been up to and see some of the different projects I've been working on. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. So, I don't know, maybe it interests you, whatever. You get a chance to get to know me a little bit better. And cool. With that, well, before I sign off, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back week after week and just allowing me to get into your eardrums a little bit. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. So with that, my name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.